Hey YouTube, I've just been listening to an album lately quite obsessively, and I just wanted to talk about it. This is a review of Amebix's Arise. I believe this is their debut album. For anyone who doesn't know, Amebix is a highly influential crust punk band from England. Um, they're basically, if not the first, one of the first crust punk bands in existence. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with the term crust punk refers to a sort of crossover between anarcho and hardcore punk, and some early extreme metal like Celtic Frost, and though they deny it, but Venom. Um, what's especially interesting to me is this album was made by a bunch of guys who, when they first started out, they didn't. According to a documentary that's also here on YouTube, these guys didn't know you actually had to tune your instruments to get them to sound the sound the way they're supposed to. This album is it's untouchable in its sort of apocalyptic atmosphere. I don't think I've heard an album quite like it. You have sort of vocally, you have sort of this gruff sort of, I'd say, Motorhead influenced. They're clean vocals, but they have this gruff sort of edge to it, with certain backing, sort of more clean, kind of awkward sounding clean vocals, but that just adds to the charm. Some of the song structures tend to be slower, but there's faster parts. But a good example is on the song "Slave." It starts off with sort of this driving drum beat, and this kind of very dirty, bassy guitar sound, and the bass is actually very prominent on this record, and it drives along until there's a sort of melodic breakdown, if you will, about halfway through the song, and then there's it goes back into the beginning riff of the song. Lyrically, this isn't typical punk material. There's political themes, but they're not strictly protest songs. This isn't like something by, say, Crass, even though Crass and Discharge were highly influential to this band. The themes are a bit more archetypal. I'm probably saying that wrong, but whatever, fuck it. And they tend to revolve around nuclear devastation, pollution, sort of. There's a song called "Fear of God," which is critical of established organized religion. There's another song which I can't remember the name of right now, but there's a song about people being sort of mentally castrated by pharmaceutical drugs, which is, the song's kind of critical of the pharmaceutical industry and mental illness in general and its diagnosis. Very bleak record, but there's still sort of tinges of hopefulness, I guess you could say, to it. There's one of the lines from "Drink and Be Merry." One of the last lines is "Live for life's sake. Don't let life pass you by. There's more worth living for than meets the eye." And very touching lyrics on here if you're in the right mood. And this is definitely, if you're in the sort of if you're into punk, and especially if you're into punk or metal of the extreme variety, this is a must-have. This is a must-listen. This is arguably one of the most influential records to come out of England and in the late 80s. I love this album. It's great. Every time I listen to it, it hits right here. But that's all for today. I'll have more reviews in the future. But yeah, that's it. See ya.